Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of CHP Sports with Kenny to my left and Anthony. That's me. Kenny, how you doing today?
Good. Glad to be back after I had a doctor's appointment that turned out to nobody showed up for my doctor's appointment except me. So that was worth missing last week.
Yeah, we did miss last week because of the doctor's appointment. So,
and I sat there for an hour, and no one answered me. So it was not a priority for their appointments. And I still haven't heard from them, which is even more fascinating. It's been a week.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal customer service. Thank you. I won't mention her name, but thank you very much for
wasting your time.
For wasting my time for the last 2 months, basically. Appreciate it.
So we've been gone for 2 weeks. Obviously, this show is focused mostly on NFL stuff during this time of the year, and we'll continue to do that. So lots of NFL news to hit. Let's deal with the NFL games for this weekend. So upset city, kind of like I'm in some ways I'm glad we missed last week because I can't imagine my picks would have been any good based on who won.
Yeah. Every survival pool was ruined this weekend. All of them. Because nothing, again, we're back to nothing making sense at all. And it was.
So what was your biggest surprise game, I guess?
I mean, not to sound like a homer, but my Broncos, I mean, they didn't just beat the Cowboys on a last-second field goal. It was like 30-0 with 5 minutes left in the game. Like, Cowboys got 2 garbage touchdowns at the end, but they got destroyed. No one on earth can say they predicted that because Denver was terrible the last 4 games. They then traded their best player, Von Miller.
Yes.
And they're going to Dallas, who was 6-1 at the time, and looking really legit, right? Great offense, solid
really
defense, well. And we go up there and 30-0 for basically 4 quarters. It's like very surprising, but I think also the I don't know, even bigger. I think, although I was still shocked about that. The Bills losing to the Jaguars. Just
that was the one for me. Yeah. That one was crazy.
Insane.
I'm unsure what the heck the Bills have done because it was. I mean, their offense has been humming along, and all of a sudden, just nothing, just garbage. To only score 6 points against
the Jaguars.
Jaguars. It's like what is happening?
I think Vegas made a lot of money this weekend, to be honest. Because nothing makes sense.
Yeah.
And again, it wasn't like that Dallas game. It wasn't like it was close. I mean, some of these games were close. Like the Jags game was close, but I mean, what do you think the over/under on that game was? Right? It wasn't 15. You know what I mean? Like it was 9-6.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, like crazy game. But my dog says hi.
Hello, dog.
Yeah, but that one was like that has to be the most mind-blowing one, I think. I don't know. They're both pretty crazy to think about. But then even like the Browns over the Bengals, right? It wasn't because they beat them. It was how bad they beat them. You know what I mean? Like, was it 41-14 or something like that?
41-16. Yeah, it was. We got ahead. The Browns got ahead, and as a Browns fan, it was very nice to watch. We looked, the entire Odell Beckham situation it's just so strange, and strange that I don't blame anyone. I think the two parties parting is the best for both parties. Like I think
Agreed.
I think Odell's a good player. I just think he just doesn't work with Baker and this offense. He just doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Baker and him just do not mesh somehow on the field. And, and it's like, as soon as he leaves, like all of a sudden Baker looks like 10 times better. It's insane. Like it's one of the strangest things I've seen, like in a sports field, like how much different someone can look by removing someone else.
Yeah.
So Baker looks sharp.
Except maybe it was a friction thing. Maybe they just didn't mesh. Maybe it was.
ESPN had an article where they were basically saying that Odell seemed to freelance his routes sometimes. I'm kind of paraphrasing them. I don't know how much freelancing he did. It seemed like he sometimes would freelance a little bit, and that would that for whatever reason, either the way he freelanced or like the fact he was freelancing didn't work with Baker. Baker would like look for him and he wouldn't be where he expected him to be. And even if Odell's running wide open, like because you don't know what he's doing, you can't trust to throw it. So we would have to come off of him. So then it looks bad on Baker because Baker, it looks like Baker. Why isn't Baker throwing to the open guy? Looks Baker doesn't know what the open guy's doing because the open guy's not doing what he was supposed to do in the first place.
Yeah, and and then it comes a case where he's just never looking in his direction. You know what I mean? He's just which shrinks the field a lot too for Baker, so it's not helping him at all.
Yeah, so it's
But there was definitely some turning, like that big interception. I mean, Bengals are going on the score. Like
that was the other thing is that our secondary finally got healthy. I love Ward, but he's constantly injured. He's one of those guys that we've talked about in the past. That like, phenomenal athlete, phenomenal player, but he has trouble just staying healthy for whatever reason. But when he's out there, and the guy we drafted out of Northwestern, whose name is going to escape me right now, number 20. But the guy we drafted out of Northwestern is phenomenal too. So they're both healthy finally. And, our back end, we got John Johnson finally started playing like, the reason we brought him in. And all of a sudden our secondary, which was been being picked apart, also looks way better. Right. And, given our pass rush.
Yeah.
All of a sudden the defense starts to click.
And that's just going to help them more, right? If they're covering well, the pass rush is going to be even better. But that one play is a huge play. Bengals are going on to score, and Cleveland
it's a 14-point swing.
Yeah, it's a 14-point swing. And they end up winning by like 28 points or whatever it was, or 26 points. So I mean, that's huge, right? That play alone, it's a closer game. So, but yeah, that was kind of surprising. Then the Ravens making a living off of winning, like
I can't tell if they're good or everyone else just like craps the bet against them.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, is the NFL just not really good this year? Like that's the other conclusion I'm coming up with. There's just not a lot of good teams, and it's not saying the Ravens aren't good. It's saying like they're winning every game barely. There's like 3 or 4 games now they've won either overtime or where they were down huge in the beginning. And in the last 8 minutes, they score like 50 points and they come back and win. And it's kind of the case again this weekend against the Vikings, who are just like, You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's like the Vikings were up by 14. They give up 21 straight. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like play what defense? Some
defense.
But the Colts did the same thing 3 weeks ago. Whenever the Colts did the same. They were up bigger and they just gave up. They started running hurry up offense and. Next thing you know, they're losing. Or this one went to overtime, and they even had a chance to win, the Vikings, and they couldn't kick a field goal.
I mean, the interception by Barr, their linebacker or defensive end, that makes that interception in overtime, like one of the most phenomenal individual effort plays I've ever seen.
Yeah, incredible,
absolutely phenomenal play. Like it was one where I actually I had it on. My wife was in the room, and I like. Made an audible sound like, oh my God, that's incredible.
Yeah. It was
like, it was that good where I actually like was doing work on my computer and all of a sudden like said that out loud. And, for their offense to do absolutely nothing with the ball.
Zero.
Like, oh my God.
And you could tell Lamar was like, fudge. Like when that happened.
Yeah, he thought he was screwed. Yeah. He was like, oh.
Because he was just trying to do a little flip pass over him and he just tipped it and then he jumps and catches it. What a play there. And that's a play too. You think like, all right, this game's over. Like they're going to go down and kick field goal, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
I think they gained like 3 yards. It was terrible.
Yeah, and then then the Ravens win. So I mean, props to the Ravens. They're winning close games, ugly games. Sometimes that's what it takes. But I'm still not sold completely on if they're like an elite team or if they're just scrappy enough. Like, I don't know. Maybe the other teams are just not that good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
We think we'd know by this week.
I would say the 2 other games, I guess one's a surprise and one's worth just noting is the one worth noting is for me, Giants over Raiders.
That was
the
Giants.
Yeah, Giants actually have 3 wins, which is like, wow, they're actually don't seem terrible like compared to where they were at the start of the season. So they seem like they're not they don't seem like an automatic win. Like if you play them now,
a little more formidable now. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other one that I was surprised by this result was the Sunday night game. Titans over Rams with Henry out for the year.
Yeah.
Like
So,
what?
you're thinking like, especially the Titans' last couple games, this is going to be a shootout, right? They're going to have to throw the ball more. They brought in 87-year-old Adrian Peterson as a running back, right? It's just like, uh, you know, I have Stafford in my fantasy football, so I'm like, man, this is gonna be like a 50-40 game. He's gonna have 9 touchdown passes. Uh, yeah, that didn't happen, and Tennessee won pretty easily, and
Yeah.
they've beat, I think, 3 or 4 really good teams in consecutive weeks here. To me, they're emerging as one of the best, if not
They were
top
talking about the end of
three.
the broadcast
Yeah.
yesterday that there's start of their schedule has been brutal, and the
Yep.
rest of their schedule is like the easiest in the NFL.
Yeah, and they're
Right,
what,
so they
7-2, right? So I
something
mean,
like
I put them in the top 3 right now in the league if I had to.
yeah, they're
It's
good.
and I was really surprised too, and it may not have seemed like a big win because of how good they've been, but Arizona winning, they they were missing. I mean, they were missing 3 of their best players, including their quarterback, their best wide receiver, and Hopkins, and they were missing AJ Green. All these guys were out, and
Yeah,
they still whooped the 49ers. I mean, they were like running up and down the field. James Conner looked like Barry Sanders. He was running all over the place. Like just so they did. A little less air attack. Colt McCoy's playing quarterback, but man, they ran the ball really well and played good defense, and they won the ball game. So that was the one that surprised me a little too, just because of who was not playing more than who was playing. So that was surprising. Um, and then that brings us to the Kansas City Green Bay game, which was a sleeper. But again, guys aren't playing, right? Rodgers was out, which, I think Jordan Love is this first round draft pick, and he's supposed to come in and do good things, but he looked very below average. So, and against the
I
Kansas
mean
City
it's hard.
defense,
It's
yeah, Kansas City
yeah,
defense wasn't that good, but
yeah. No stink,
but they didn't
stink.
really do anything either. I mean, they won like
No,
13 to
no.
7. Yeah,
It was generally, I think I had it on a little bit in the background because I think I was working out and trying to deadlift, and I put it on in the background, and it was like nothing happened. It was a game where like I felt like nothing. I kept waiting for like the old in Kansas City offensive explosion, and it never came. It was
yeah.
just like all right, like
I
just
feel like
nothing
too they
happened.
came out with a little better game plan of trying to run the ball a little more, stop relying on the pass so much, and they early on they looked pretty good, and then it just kind of fizzled, right? Big fizzle after that, and they didn't score the rest of the game. It was 13-0, like for
Yeah,
most of the game. So really weird. It was a weird game to me.
yeah. It was whatever.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess that brings us to Aaron Rodgers. Do you want me to give my thoughts, or do you want me to give your thoughts?
Go ahead.
So this effing guy. I mean, like I just don't have time for this BS, right? Like, so there's just so much wrong here. So one is if he would have come out and said, "Hey, I am allergic to, part of the, one of the ingredients in the vaccine. My doctor has told me I am not fit to get it because I'm allergic." Done. Right. I have a
Yeah.
niece that is in the same situation. She can't get a lot of vaccines because she's allergic to a lot of stuff. She's one of those people that's like allergic to everything. So it's very, very difficult for her. She has, she's one of the people why the entire point of herd immunity exists, right? Because we need to protect people like this. If he comes out and says this, everyone goes, okay,
Yeah.
no problem.
No harm, no
Right now,
foul. Yeah.
yeah. Now there would still be questions of like, well, why did you say you were immunized? Right.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Right. And also why did you break all these rules that you clearly broke? Those would all exist, but he wouldn't be taking the sort of beating he's taking because I kind of think that's BS given everything else he said, right? Because if that was the real reason, that's all you'd have to say. You'd be like, well, this is the reason.
And
I did
who knows what to believe at this point?
right. And so,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, it's just why are you taking advice from Joe Rogan? Like, Why in this country do we demonize science and doctors and anyone that has education in a given field? Like I don't understand. Like I have my PhD in biology, and I will still sit there and tell you like, well, I think this is what's going on, but let's I'm going to listen to the virologist
Yeah.
or the person that like developed the vaccine because they're going to be more specialized in the field. Like I don't understand the basics and the principles, what's effectively going on, but hey, I'm going to defer to them. Right? Like I don't understand why Susan on the Facebook group has more sway over people than the actual doctors and like people that have studied this. Like at this point, we have a year's worth of vaccine data, right? Or over a year's worth of basically like a year's worth of vaccine data, right? So like what are you waiting for at this point? At this point, you can't say like, oh, I'm waiting for data. I'm waiting for this. No, you just don't want to get it, right? You just don't want to listen to science, and you just whatever. You don't care about other people. I'm tired of it. It's just so frustrating with him to like put out this nonsense. And the good news is he got called out by a lot of people. Like he's like that basically said this is nonsense. Um, so on the level of dealing with him, he's a liar. He can say that he's not a liar, but he lied, right? He knows what he did, right? If someone asked you point blank that are you vaccinated? You said, well, I'm in. Yes, yeah, I'm immunized. The yeah says that you are answering that correctly. That question in the affirmative, right? And you're just switching immunized for vaccinated, right? So you lied, right? Fundamentally, you lied, right? From a football perspective, I don't know why I think they're treating it like a first offense, but it's not a first offense because he like broke the rules multiple weeks in a row for like 8 weeks or whatever, right? And Green Bay knew, right? So take a first round draft pick. Like they knew what was going on, right? So I don't understand why you like have to be, be like, well, we can't want it. We just want to find you. No, just take a first round draft pick, right? At this point, like this has been going on for 2 years now, right? So I find it extremely frustrating, like beyond frustrating.
Yeah,
So
my whole thing was your original statement. Like, just say if you're allergic to something, just say that. Like, it shouldn't be that
that's the
hard.
thing. If you have a real medical reason, it's not an
Yeah,
issue. Like everyone understands.
yeah.
But
Even if you're
like,
just like, hey, I don't want to take this thing, just say that. You know what I mean? Whether you decide to or not. Again, but there is protocol in that case, right? In the NFL,
yes,
and so just do that. But don't. The story is just like very bizarre to me. But
the
yeah,
story's bizarre. I mean, it just
yeah,
shows like to me. I mean, I always hate use the word selfishness because I don't like that word. But it's like you're saying the rules don't apply to you, right? Is what you're saying. Like beyond all the stuff about not believing in the science, which again I don't understand and I disagree with fundamentally. But you're saying the rules don't apply to you, but they should apply to everyone else and every other team. I mean, that's what you're fundamentally saying. Is that I'm a star, I'm the MVP of the league, I can do what I want because I'm
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers. Like, and
And
it's
it's
like
like
okay,
it with Kyrie. At least he's like, I'm just not taking it. So, and he's not playing. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like he's just owning
yeah.
it, and
It's like,
but like he didn't make up some crazy story about he was. I don't know. He said he took some supplements or something that helped his immunity. I don't know what he was even talking about. It was a very
he didn't explain it. He just
yeah.
said, "Oh, I've been, I sure, yeah, whatever." Somehow he was going to get natural immunity. Somehow, it was very confusing because it doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
and like again, if that's what you think works, like you said, life's about choices. So whatever choice you're making, but just be open about it. If you have to be right, maybe he feels too like he shouldn't have to say. I don't know what that all is, but the story just doesn't make much sense to me at all.
Yeah, but even then, you could just not answer the question, right? Like, are
That's
you
what I'm
vaccinated?
saying.
I prefer not to answer that question.
Yeah, just say you don't want to answer the question, and then they just assume that you're not right or
Yeah, we'll assume
whatever.
you're not, but and follow the rules, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
it's
very very strange. He's been doing some bizarre things lately. So I don't know what the problem is. Maybe, and you never know, right? You never know what somebody's going through. I don't know, but it's just weird, right? From the outsider looking in, he is in the spotlight. He is a famous NFL quarterback. You hope he's okay mentally, right? But
I mean, it
uh,
seems like he's. I mean,
yeah,
he's got some weird beliefs, but like, yeah, he like
yeah,
seems like he's okay. Like, I'm no psychologist or psychiatrist, so I can't diagnose.
yeah, yeah. And it's like, just don't quote Joe Rogan. I mean, we know that he puts out some crazy stuff.
I just can't.
I
I
saw
just can't.
I saw a meme that said like Joe Rogan is like, or what did it say? It's something like Joe Rogan is to men what Gwyneth Paltrow is to women, or something like that, with all the crazy like
Yes.
products and this whole, wild stuff going on out there. Yeah, but just tell what you're thinking and not what you're making up. It just, I don't know. It was a bizarre scene. That whole interview, I was watching it, just like this was my face. I was just like, just
I couldn't
squinting.
even watch his interview with McAfee because
Yeah, I was
I
just
was
like,
like, I'll be too infuriated if I watch this.
it was very weird. And like you said, like you could tell he's purposely bending words around, like, "Oh, I was inoculated" or something he said, or I, I don't know.
No, you weren't.
Yeah.
Like, you were not.
So,
So yeah,
but they lost, and it cost them a win, right?
yeah.
Because if he's playing, they probably win that game easily,
Is
I
he
think.
doing better? Like, has he given an update on his health?
I don't think he had any real symptoms or
No real
anything.
symptoms.
Yeah, I think he was pretty symptom free. So, I mean, that's good, right?
Good. It's good for him.
Yeah. Uh,
So
and Devontae Adams had it last week, so they didn't have him last week, or Rodgers this week. So it's still tough. I mean, I look at my fantasy football team, I had 8 guys out this week, whether it was COVID or bye week or injury, or it's like, it's tough. It's I feel bad for the coaches right now. There's so many guys out,
yeah,
whether it be COVID or, I just feel like there's so many injuries again this year, and they're playing more games. Let's play more games.
yeah, yeah.
Like baseball. Let's play more games.
Yes,
let's get more.
yes.
Let's get more concussions.
That's right.
Yeah,
Just accumulate them over
yeah.
time.
I didn't understand the adding. I mean, I know why, right? Money, but for the rate of guys get hurt in football now, this didn't make sense to me. But big money maker, right? Another week.
Yeah, that's like we've talked about all the talk of expanding the college football playoff. It's like,
Yeah,
here now it's like we need this. No, we don't need it, folks. Like we want to watch it, and it would
yeah,
make you a lot of money, but we don't.
yeah.
We certainly don't need it.
It's not
So
needed. It's wanted by a lot of people. But
yeah, there you go.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna have us go to picks, but if you
Well, the
have
Braves won too. I wanted to mention that the Braves
oh
won
yeah,
the World Series.
there you go.
After 468 games, we have a World Series champion.
Oh goodness, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. All right. Let's see. What do we got? Hold on. I'm pulling up. Let's see if there's any. I think I would have done this beforehand, but I forgot. Any big college football games this upcoming week? Let's see, I guess we're week 11 now, aren't we?
I think
Let's
the
see.
biggest college news was Bama barely beating LSU, which didn't surprise me, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess the first rankings came out, and Cincinnati got screwed. Bama got a gift. Is
correct.
basically what happened.
Yes.
Um,
And then Bama barely beat a 500 football team.
yeah, it's 4-14, whatever they
It's
are.
like a rivalry game, SEC game, but should beat them pretty handily.
But yeah, if you're sitting there from Cincinnati's perspective and you're going, okay, we haven't lost, and they've
Yeah.
played, they've lost to a team that's I don't even know if is any even ranked. I don't even know if they're the team they lost to.
They just lost
Ranked.
this week again. I know that.
Yeah, so I don't even think they're ranked, and they've played 2 tight games against Florida, who's shown to kind of not be who's kind of fallen off the face of
Yeah.
the planet, and LSU, who doesn't appear to be great.
Oregon's loss looks even worse now too. Stanford got blown out this weekend. It was like 50 something to 10 or something. They got
Well,
annihilated.
and of course, Purdue does what Purdue does and ruined another undefeated Big Ten season.
Yeah, just bad,
Mhm.
bad, bad,
It's,
bad.
yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. So I guess this coming weekend we have, let's see here, any big top 25 games. Let's see, Mississippi State, who's 17 at Auburn. That could be good. Who's 13? That could be good. Oklahoma, who's number 8 at Baylor. So Oklahoma has played a lot of people tight and hasn't really played anyone of note. So this is like, I think, their first game they're playing
Is them and Oklahoma State still undefeated, right? Both of them?
Oklahoma is still undefeated. I think Oklahoma. If you want to say Oklahoma State lost,
Did they lose one?
I think they did.
That's usually a Thanksgiving rival game, Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find where Oklahoma State is. I'm not seeing them. Let's see. Ohio State. Purdue comes and faces Ohio State here, which I think Ohio State will win because it's here. If it was in Purdue, I think it's a very tight game because that's just what Purdue does at home.
Yeah.
They're, I think, just not as good on the road. Georgia plays Tennessee. Georgia will probably give up like 5 points somehow and win by 30 because Georgia looks head and shoulders above everyone else, which means they'll lose to Bama by 20. Yeah, that's. I guess Texas A&M is 14, and they're going against Ole Miss at 16. And I think those are all the top 25 like ranked games. Oh, NC State goes against Wake Forest. That's 9 against 19. Wake Forest is 9.
Yeah, they're undefeated, right?
They lost this weekend
Oh,
to
they did lose.
UNC.
That's right.
Yeah, in a game where there was apparently no defense because I think the final score was like 53-51 or something insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the opposite of like what Georgia does. So
Yeah, complete opposite.
let's do NFL. So NFL picks this coming week. All right, so Thursday night we have Ravens on the short week against the Dolphins. Are Dolphins coming off a bye? They didn't play this weekend, did they?
Yeah, they played.
Did they?
Yeah, who the heck did they play?
Texans?
Yes.
Oh. Oh yeah, that was like the loser bowl.
Yeah.
All right. Ravens, Dolphins, Ravens.
Yeah.
All right. Falcons, Cowboys. I would say this is where is this at? This is in Texas.
Yeah, I'm going. Dallas has to recover. I'm going Dallas there.
Yeah, Dallas. Man, I'll pick Dallas. The line's Dallas -9. I don't think they cover, but I think Cowboys win outright. Saints, Titans. There's an interesting one. This is in Nashville. Give me the Titans.
Yeah, I think Titans. Saints are a mess at quarterback right now. There's no continuity there. Titans for sure.
Yeah. Jags coming off their second win of the year at Indianapolis. Give me the Colts.
Yeah, Colts are playing well right now.
They are. They do seem a bit up and down, and their record shows it at 4-5. But they, as we've discussed ad nauseum, they've had a very tough sort of early schedule.
Yeah, and they have a good balance, I think, too. Good running and some good passing. So
Browns at Patriots. Both teams are 5-4, and the line is Patriots -1.5.
Man, I'm going Cleveland there, but it wouldn't surprise me if Belichick pulled out something. But I think
yeah, I'm going Cleveland as well here. I think this week showed we're on the right path. I agree with you. The Patriots always seem to play everyone close because they're always well coached and they just don't make big mistakes. But I think Cleveland's finally seemingly healthy, and as we discussed with Odell, it seems to be addition via subtraction there. So
yeah,
I think it's like Bills travel to MetLife Stadium to take on the Jets. Give me the Bills by 1 million.
Yeah. They're not going to let what happened last week to.
I can't imagine.
Still bizarre to me. Still bizarre.
Yeah. Lions travel to Pittsburgh. Lions are still winless, and I think they stay winless after the Steelers trounce them.
Yeah. And the Steelers are tonight, right?
Steelers play tonight.
Monday Night Football. So, yeah, I mean, if they win tonight, looking at 2 back-to-back wins, I don't think Detroit's going anywhere and beating anybody right now on the road.
No. Buccaneers travel to Washington to take on the football team.
Hey, I mean, I don't see any. Yeah, I don't see Washington.
Here, right?
I don't see Washington beating the Bucs. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I mean, after this week, who knows? But
Panthers travel to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals.
Yeah,
Panthers, I think, are toast.
They're Man, and they looked so promising early on.
They did. They just
Man, they got
fell off a cliff.
beat terribly this weekend.
Vikings travel out to California to take on the Chargers. Give me the Chargers. I think this weekend the Vikings. This was the game that breaks them. I don't think they recover from that overtime loss yesterday.
Yeah, and the Chargers looked decent against the against the Eagles, but they did travel right cross country. It's always tough to do that and win. So yeah, I go Chargers there. I like that.
Eagles at Broncos in Mile High.
It's a big week for me. I live in Eagles country, and I'm a Broncos fan. We're gonna ride the wave from last weekend, and we're gonna win again by at least 30 points.
The line is Denver minus 2.5. I don't know if they win by 30, but I will take the Broncos here. I do think they win.
Yeah.
Seahawks travel to Wisconsin to play Green Bay. I guess we'll assume Rodgers is back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll make the assumption he's back. I guess Green Bay. I mean, they haven't shown me a reason to pick against them, really.
Nah, me neither. And in Seattle, still no Russell Wilson, so it's tough to pick them.
Chiefs against Raiders, so divisional game in Vegas. Give me the Raiders here.
Yeah, Raiders come back this week. Still not impressed with Kansas City this year. For whatever reason, it's just they're not that good, I don't think.
Then next Monday night, Rams, 49ers in Santa Clara. So at the 49ers are home here.
I like the Rams bouncing back. Yawning's contagious.
I know. Sorry. Give me the Rams here. So I don't know that we picked any different teams. Like again, this seems like this coming week seems, trying to look at games that don't look like they're pretty set in stone. We've got Browns Patriots is kind of a, could go either way. Saints Titans I could kind of see going either way. And man, that's about it. All the other games look like they should be pretty. Like they should be easy picks.
Just like last week.
Yeah. We'll see how this actually goes.
Yeah, just like last week. Easy peasy. Pick them all.
Yeah. We'll just walk in with some money, walk out with more money.
Yes.
Yeah, who knows? Kenny, anything else going on in your world that you want to tell our listeners?
No, I mean, just living a dad life coming up on the holidays. This is where it gets interesting. Lots going on every weekend.
I've got 15 parties. How do I stay on track with
nutrition? Yes. And that side of it. And, my wife is pretty much Santa Claus at this point. So we do a lot of holiday things. So there's a lot going on.
I just ask people, how do you have so many friends? Like, how do you get invited to so many things?
This weekend we have a birthday party for a friend's daughter and then a Friendsgiving party literally right after it at the house next door. So,
well, at least you can just walk.
Correct. It's a very convenient location for both. But yeah, but it's fun. Fun for the kids, So
easy peasy. Well, enjoy that. We did finish up the Crucible. So for those of you that may be watching that, took part in the Crucible, it was great. Thank you so much. We'll have we're in the midst of planning some more events for the next 12 months. Crucible will be back next October, probably. So we'll be back probably October again, because that seems to work well for scheduling wise in terms of running and not being a million degrees outside, no matter where you are.
Yeah.
And other than that, we should see you next week. Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Check out CompleteHumanPerformance.com for all your fitness and nutrition needs, and we will see you soon.
Peace.